You want to give your child the best possible education. You're finding it a little bit tricky to balance it around all the other activities and events you have on. Well, did you know you can have it all? Alright everybody, it's me, Simon from Doncaster Shichida, and I'm back again to kind of go through some of the more frequently asked questions we have here at Shichida. And as a parent myself, a lot of this stuff comes up for me too. Let's have a look at what our first one is. I'm struggling to find time for classes as we have a packed schedule. The good thing about Shichida is, it's only once a week in less than an hour. And we usually have, a variety of class times available. So we have the mornings, we have the afternoons as well. Sometimes we'll need to juggle some things around and we can open up new classes, especially towards the end of the year, at the start of the year. If you just let us know what you want, and then we can kind of base our schedule around that. We can change our timetables. And we can always look at different things. And really, our classes are probably one of the best ways you can be investing your time because we do so much stuff at once, right? So we do, field of vision training, which helps with sports. We do fun songs like, baby karaoke at the library. We do stuff that's similar to Kumon with our writing activities. We do, memory training, which is pretty unique to us. We do, kind of like drawing songs. We have a little bit of music playing there. It's really a well-rounded program that if you have to settle for something, I would definitely pick Shichida over everything because you can get so much just here 50 minutes once a week. That's my opinion anyway. I send my child here. He's still very small, but he's been enjoying it, and it's definitely the first kind of place I wanted to send my child to. As always, we do have Saturday classes, so other parent, mum or dad who's not working can bring them in if you can get a Saturday spot. We do have different centres as well. So if you're in Sydney, Parramatta, Chatswood, you could look at the other one if it's convenient. Or if you're in Victoria, we have Doncaster, High Point, Glen Waverley and Chadstone. And, either one of those, you can change between the centres. You can do replacement classes between the centres. There's lots of different ways we can assist you with that as well because we're all kind of one big company. I even have kids who live in Sydney that sometimes they're here on holiday and I'll do a replacement class. I got one this afternoon actually, which I think is pretty cool as well. On that, you do have 2 reschedules per term. So, 10 weeks per term and 2 of those classes, you can just call us up beforehand saying, hey, I can't make it this week. XYZ is on. Can I reschedule? Of course. We have those 2 flexible dates for you. And if you need another one, say your child's sick, you can get a doctor's certificate and then we will help you out with that and we can reschedule that. So we are understanding, we are flexible with different things here at Shichida. Even if you or your partner can't bring your child into classes, we do have different family members bringing in kids. I have a lot of grandparents, grandma, grandpa. We have, sometimes aunties, uncles, a friend. You can really have anyone bring your child in. And don't worry about their English level. So I have many grandparents who don't know any English whatsoever, but I help out the kid and they're smiling and having a good time and I'm helping out with anything that needs more, specific language instruction. So don't feel too bad if you send, your parents who might not understand me very well, but I can always help out as we do the class. So really, we always try our best to accommodate for you if something comes up or if you need help with scheduling. And as I said, it's probably one of the best places to go for school readiness. And even when your kids are in school, it's awesome to come here still. I love teaching the primary school program, the primary school kids. And it's a really good place to know your kids' milestones are being met because it's kind of an advanced program. So when they come here and they do the classes, then they are comfortable and confident when they go to school. We also have a waitlist system. So if you really want that Saturday spot, but it's not available, you can go on a wait list for it. And then you can enroll in a weekday class. And once that spot becomes available, we'll call you up and let you know you can come to this time now. Or vice versa, maybe you come at Tuesday 9:30 and you really want that Thursday 9:30, you can go on the wait list for that because sometimes people shuffle around and then we can find the right time for you. Just let us know what you need and we will do our best to help you out. Okay, let's have a look at another question. My child is starting kinder or preschool And I was curious how much overlap there would be between Kinder/preschool and Shichida, as I'm scared that my child will get bored. That's right. We have this question all the time, like, oh, will my child be too smart for school? Will my child be too smart for preschool? No! I mean, we're always learning. Like, there's no way you can be over advanced for something. Especially going to kinder, because the skills they do at preschool or kinder in Victoria are more social based. Okay? The early years learning framework is all about kids getting along with other kids and exploring the world around them, which is a bit different to what we do. We focus a bit more on academic skills somewhat, but we also do, the right brain, breathing activities and imagination play, but we kind of focus less on the interaction between kids. So what we do versus what happens at childcare or kinder preschool is very different. They're learning different skills. So really the two of them are very complementary. So the things that I can't necessarily do here, such as more student-to-student interaction, they will get at preschool, and the stuff they can't really get there, like that kind of one-on-one time with a teacher looking at what things they need to improve on or saying, hey, you're really good at this, they can get at Shichida. So they do work in tandem really well. So if you can, I would definitely do both. But of course, Shichida, I would prioritize that myself. It's only once a week, come on. And with our program, your child is kind of taught at very age-specific levels. Like, okay, preschool, they might be, or Victoria, they might have, 3-year-old kinder, 4-year-old kinder, 5-year-old kinder, where kids from January to December are all together. Whereas, of course, Shichida, we have them within 3 months of each other so that we can directly teach them to where their brain development is at that time. So they're not doing something too advanced for them or something too easy for them because it's very specific. And when they go to kinder, they can use those skills. Keep in mind that if you did want to have like a break from Shichida and just go to kinder, you will lose your spot, and it can be hard to find the right time again because we only have 6 kids in a class, so it fills up. And we've had a fair few parents get upset that once they've gone to kinder, they realize, oh, wait, they're not learning quite the same things that I thought they would be. Okay, maybe Shichida was the better option, and they can't get their spot again. I mean, I remember I had one parent saying, who did that, she left, she didn't have a problem with the timetable, but her daughter said to her, but Mum, where's everything else? Where's all the other stuff? And Mum's like, oh, okay, I guess we'll go back to Shichida then. So it does happen. The kids love coming here and they have a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, they're learning so much while here. That will help them out in the future. They're learning how to learn. They're developing this love of learning. And that's a big thing of what we do. It's not just the academic skills, it's also, raising that EQ and raising like a heart education is what we call it, soul education, which is what our founder was really big on. Further from that, keep in mind that when they do start school, we have some parents leave then, but what they're learning at school is still different to what they're doing here. So when they start, foundation in Victoria or kindergarten in New South Wales, they are still doing more of these social skills. They're learning how to be in a classroom, and the curriculum is kind of catered towards kind of simple phonics, simple writing, just to get all the kids on the same, level and testing out where they are. And then they're kind of missing out on where they were at Shichida. And they keep coming here, and our program changes to the primary program. It's really interesting how we incorporate new things that they don't do at school. Because we do, looking at famous people, we do fun little presentations, we do lots of science experiments, and all this kind of stuff that they don't necessarily get in their first couple of years at school. And even if you're worried your child's might get too smart for school, how they do it in the New South Wales syllabus, Victorian curriculum, is they look at where your child is and they kind of plan for activities below the level and above the level. So if they're in year 1, then they're kind of planning activities for year 2 and for foundation kindergartens. They're kind of looking at both these ways where some kids might be over here, some kids might be over here. So if your child is advanced because they came to Shichida, they'll still be getting challenged at school. I know I did a placement at a school nearby, and I had one of my primary school kids who's in year 1, and I asked the teacher about him. She's like, oh, he's a superstar. because he's so like good in class and he's so like kind to the other kids and always help them out. So even if he knows something, he's going to go help out those other kids. And yeah, it's really cool seeing all the Shichida kids when you go to schools. All right, next question. I want my child to do basketball, hip hop, karate, and music. With all these extracurricular activities, I'm scared I will stress or tire my child out. Yeah, I mean, we don't want our children doing too many activities because, you know, they get tired and they don't have as much relaxation time, which I'm sure you're very well aware of being a parent who works and juggles everything. With a lot of these extracurricular activities like, you know, basketball, hip hop, karate, music, you can start them or resume them at any age. I mean, I could go learn karate now if I wanted to. I don't particularly, but if I wanted to, I could do it. That's the same thing with the kids. Like, you know, once they develop more interest in things, you might say, okay, they want to do this. But you can stop and start it at any age. Shichida, once you stop, it's hard to come back. You know, we have that cutoff age of 4.5 for a reason. It's that as they get more and more advanced, as the curriculum kind of builds upon itself, it's too hard for a child to come back to it. Not only too hard, but it's not good for their self-esteem. You know, they come into a class with other kids who already have this foundation of, okay, we know what's going on. They're like, oh, well, I don't know what's happening. And I don't like to see that. I mean, I would prefer, you know, that the child be confident in themselves rather than being stressed out in class. So that's why we kind of have that system where they can't start after 4.5. And with Shichida, you want to start early because that's when the brain's growing the most. And you want to keep them here while they're young because that is when the brain is absorbing the most amount of stuff around them. And with this, that's why we think it's important that we cover so many topics at once so they can get this exposure to a lot of topics and then their interest in these things will grow rather than, you know, doing an activity that's very insular, just basketball, okay? We want to show them many things from a young age and then once they get older, they can kind of find where their interests lie more. And if you do finish earlier, like if you decide, okay, I'm going to stop at the end of the pre-primary program, I won't go to primary because, you know, it's only 4:30 on weekdays, you are missing out on a lot of really cool stuff. And I think some parents are a bit worried about, you know, time after school with the kids coming in at 4:30 after a long day. But I mean, I haven't really had any dramas in the 3 years I've been teaching the primary program. The kids are excited to come. They love it. They especially love class with Simon, and other teachers are good as well. But they're having a really good time when they come here and they like to be challenged in a different way. And the class setup is different. At school, they're kind of chatting with their friends in small groups. Here is direct with me, chatting with the 8 kids in the class. And I think they like that. An adult can listen to them and give them feedback. And that's something they really enjoy. So keep in mind that Shichida classes aren't really an extracurricular program. It's its own curricular program. We follow our own system and our own syllabus curriculum that sometimes align with schools, sometimes is very different to schools because of what, you know, we value in education. And what, you know, the government values in education is sometimes different to what we are aiming for because we are more like kids discovering things for themselves and getting, you know, getting an exposure to a lot of different topics and interests rather than school, which is focusing more on reading, writing, maths is what every primary school divides their homeroom teacher time into. And then like, if there's time, we'll do music, art and all that, you know, if we can. Whereas we want to focus on like a whole brain training development. So Shichida is a supportive program because it does similar things but different things, which is why I like the primary program because we're still doing these, you know, memory games. We're doing those science experiments. We're doing famous people. What are we doing? 1 minute writing practice where the kids have 1 minute to read this passage and then they have to write it all down from memory. Like, I love the primary program and all like the memory training stuff that we do in there and all like the, you know, the story writings, which is important, especially like if you're a person who's obsessed with NAPWAN, but how we scaffold the writing and then they write their stories and they come up with these really cool things. So yeah, what they do at Shichida is different to school, but they support one another. There's no reason why you should just go, okay, we're in school, that's it, we're done. That's all the learning our kids will ever need is at school. No, you learn everywhere, you know? things you teach them at home will be different to things they learn at school, such as things they learn at Shichida. So that's why I think it's really important to continue with the program to the end, because you get such a large exposure to a wide variety of topics that the kids may not have been exposed to in the past. So it's always going to be a benefit to your child's well-roundedness if you do Shichida and school and other activities that school might not be able to focus on. You know, of all the activities you could do outside of home, I think Shichida probably is the best time investment because of how much stuff we cover at once. We're giving kids a wide exposure to a lot of different topics that will benefit them in the future. Okay, another question for us today. We are traveling overseas for a few weeks and can't attend class in the middle of the term. I guess we'll have to stop and restart once we're back. My son is upset as he loves his class. I'm worried about losing our spot and my son falling behind, or daughter. Yeah, so traveling, of course, offers great opportunities and benefits for young learners and young kids. They get to see so many cool things, experience a lot of new stuff, which is, you know, Shichida, where we are about that. You know, if you can travel, yeah, do it. But you don't need to just abandon Shichida, okay? So, as you know, if it's not probably going to be for the whole term. You're not going to be like, yeah, I'm going to on holiday for 3 months. I wish, you know, we all had that amount of money, but can't often be done. If it's just for a couple of weeks, then, you know, we have those 2 replacement classes you can do. You can reschedule the classes to, you know, later on in the term, or you can do them earlier in the term. You can choose to do a level up or a level down if you don't want to repeat the same activities that you did. But I don't think it's bad that kids do the same class twice in a week. We have some parents who actually signed up for 2 classes. They pay twice the amount of fees to do it. Because a big thing about learning is multiple exposures and repeated exposures to the same topics. As an adult, yeah, we get bored. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, good job. But for a kid, they need to keep doing it. We're not going to learn by just doing something once. And so if you do have the repeated exposures to something, then you will learn better. And that's why I don't think it's so bad, like if a kid has to do a reschedule and do the same class. They might do the class on Monday and Friday with the same content, but, you know, they're still learning from it. It's not like, oh, I've already done this, I'm not learning anything, you know. They are learning a lot each time they do something. And if you are away for more than 2 weeks, always speak to your centre manager. There might be things we can do to kind of cover this. I mean, it's a case-by-case basis on what we can do and what we can't do. But if you will be away for a bit longer than 2 weeks, then just let us know and we can see what we can do about that. You know, we want you to have it all. We don't want your child to miss out on maybe visiting a family member overseas or going overseas to do something fun. And we also don't want them to miss out on their classes. So yeah, we will try to help out wherever we can because it is important to do multiple things. Your child's not necessarily going to fall behind if they miss a couple of classes. Because of how we do the classes, they have multiple exposures to the same topics. So usually it follows, you know, that monthly structure of we do the same flashcards for the month, we do the same songs for the month, we do the same kind of memory game for the month, albeit we move some things around. So they kind of get used to that routine, but if you miss it, it's not the end of the world. Of course, if you can come, but if you do miss it, you know, they will be able to catch back up the following week. Missing a couple of classes is preferable to missing a whole term because you might lose your spot as well. So yeah, I think it's important to think through how long you'll be away for and what benefits it gives. So I hope that answers some of your questions today. I do have the other video I did a little while ago that goes through scheduling a bit more in depth, so you can look that up on YouTube and you can click through, see where the questions are. But other than that, yeah, I think no matter what challenges come your way, you know, we can overcome them, we can work together, and I really think that Shichida is the best option that you can do. Like if you want to, you know, put your child through any kind of learning activity, Shichida is the one. You know, if there's one that you need to keep, it's Shichida. Okay, and if you start school, you don't need to stop Shichida. Please keep coming. It's so cool to see what the kids can do, you know, doing Shichida and doing school at the same time. They are complementary. So yes, if you have any other questions, please send them to us, and I would love to answer them in the next video I do. And as always, you know, we love teaching your kids. We love having them here, and we are always about your child's educational journey and helping you and them achieve greatness, I guess. All right. No worries. See you guys later. Bye.